Hello everyone, my name is Aarti and you're watching HW News. Not so long ago, we saw the entire government throwing itself in the promotion of a movie called The Kashmir Files. The movie, directed by Vivek Agnihotri, shed light on the exodus of Kashmiri Pandits from the valley. At the height of militancy in the 1990s, the Kashmir Valley saw many Kashmiri Pandits leaving the valley and turning refugee in their own country. Many Kashmiri Pandits were targeted and killed by militants. Fearing for their lives, the Kashmiri Pandit community had to move out of the valley, leaving behind their own homes. 3 decades later, has anything changed for the Kashmiri Pandit community? Hardly so. On Thursday, terrorists shot and killed another Kashmiri Pandit in Jammu and Kashmir's Budgam district. Rahul Bhat, a member of the Kashmiri Pandit community and an employee of the Chadoora area of Tehsildar office, was shot dead by 2 terrorists. He was immediately taken to the SMHS Hospital in Srinagar for treatment, but he succumbed to his injuries. Rahul Bhatt's killing is the latest in a series of heinous attacks and killings of Kashmiri Pandits in valley. His killing has now sparked protest in the valley. Members of the Kashmiri Pandit community took to streets yesterday and demanded justice for him. But the protesters were lathi-charged and police also fired tear gas shells at protesters to prevent them from moving towards the airport road in Budgam. For your information, Jammu and Kashmir is now under the governor's rule brought by the central government. Now let us understand this issue in detail. 35-year-old Rahul Bhat, a clerk in Tehsildar office in the revenue department, was shot dead by 2 terrorists wielding pistol. For your information, Jammu and Kashmir is now under the governor's rule brought by the central government. Let us understand this issue in bit of a detail now. 35-year-old Rahul Bhat, a clerk in Tehsildar office in the revenue department, was shot dead by 2 terrorists wielding pistol on Thursday. Eyewitnesses said that he was shot thrice. 1 bullet hit him in the right side of the chest, while 2 bullets pierced the left side, damaging his heart. Bhatt lived in a Kashmiri Pandit cluster of Sheikhpura in Budgam along with his wife. He belonged to the Birwa also in Budgam. The rest of his family, including his parents, had already migrated to Jammu. Rahul Bhat was a government employee working under the Prime Minister's Rehabilitation Package scheme, which is the Government of India scheme that was devised under the Prime Minister's package in 2008 and 2015 for the return and rehabilitation of Kashmiri migrants to the Kashmir Valley. Under the policy, special jobs have been offered to Kashmiri migrant youth with the aim of their rehabilitation. However, since the cold-blooded killing of Rahul Bhat, his family is inconsolable. Bhatt's wife, speaking to the reporters, had said that she had spoken to him 10 minutes before he was killed. She said that none of the people present there tried to save his life. Moreover, she said she had asked him to leave the job. According to ABP News, Rahul's friend said that there were 3 people who asked who was Rahul and then they shot him. His wife, who is in shock since the death of her husband, also raised the issue of security of Kashmiri Pandits and said that even the government does not care about them. She said, "We are being made scapegoats. The government is not thinking about our security." Rahul Bhatt's father, on the other hand, said, and I quote, "First, the terrorist asked who Rahul Bhat is and then they shot him. We want an inquiry." He said that there was a police station 100 feet away. There must have been security at the office, but nobody was there when he was shot. He also demanded that the police should check CCTV footage. Bhatt's wife said that he used to say everyone behaves nicely with him and nobody can harm him. But how would the terrorist have known he worked there? Someone must have told them.
Amit Shah believes that Yogi Adityanath is the potential prime ministerial candidate for future. Why I don't think Aam Aadmi Party can be a national party, at least in 2024, kind of create problems for Bharatiya Janata Party alone, on its own. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, says one nation should have one election. You see, I pray to God that Baba, election should be there every day. Every day there should be some election or the other in this country. You know why? Because if there is election, the government ensures that the price is kept in check. Petrol prices are kept in check. The moment election
Rahul Bhatt's killing sparked protest in the valley. Demonstrations were held at various places across Kashmir by members of the Kashmiri Pandit community. Tensions prevailed in various parts of Kashmir where angry Kashmiri Pandit government employees held protest on Friday demanding their relocation to safer places outside the valley, a day after the killing of a minority community member Rahul Bhat by Lashkar-e-Taiba terrorists. The protesters raised slogans against the Jammu and Kashmir administration and demanded that Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha should come and assure them about their safety. However, the Lieutenant Governor was in Sopore attending a function at that point of time. However, his office tweeted that the Lieutenant Governor had met the relatives of Rahul Bhat and assured justice to the family. The protesters also raised slogans against Prime Minister Modi and the BJP. Hundreds of protesters blocked the roads and burned tires at Muthi, Hazuribagh and Buntalab, after which the police resorted to lathi charge and shelled tear gas on the Kashmiri Pandit protesters demanding security. The anger of the community was also palpable at the funeral of Rahul Bhat. According to newspaper Greater Kashmir, hundreds of mourners had gathered and his relatives wept inconsolably as the mortal remains of Rahul Bhat were brought to his home in Jammu. The community members, including Rahul Bhatt's family, accused the BJP-led government at the centre of making young Kashmiri Hindus cannon fodder in the name of rehabilitation of the community. They also said the incident has shattered their dreams of resettling permanently in the valley. Greater Kashmir also quoted Somnath Bhatt, a relative of Rahul Bhat, who alleged that the government has formulated a plan to get young Kashmiri Pandits killed in the name of giving them jobs and rehabilitating them. Such people are sitting ducks for terrorists who are using them for target practice, he said. Now, the issue of Kashmiri Pandit security has always been prominent in the valley. The successive governments have claimed to provide safety to the migrant Pandit families returning to Kashmir, but the community says otherwise. Last month, the Kashmiri Pandit colony in Baramulla received a threat letter warning Kashmiri Pandits and other non-Muslims to convert to Islam or face life-threatening attacks from the terrorist outfit. After the threat letter, the Kashmiri Pandits who returned to the valley under Prime Minister's package also sent a memorandum to the Deputy Commissioner of Baramulla seeking immediate action. In the memorandum, the employees under PM package asked the District Commissioner to review their security arrangements and demanded the transfer of employees to close areas for their safety. They demanded that the government must provide accommodation to rented employees at district headquarters, keeping in view their security and their safety. They also sought immediate transfer of employees working in the different departments at and around the district headquarters. They asked to review the security of the migrant employees on a periodic basis to avoid any kind of untoward incident. Now, incidentally, according to Chunnilal Bhatt, head of the Mandir committee at Sheikhpura, even Rahul Bhat was recently shifted from the Deputy Commissioner's office to the Tehsil office at Chadoora by the DC Shehbaz Ahmed Mirza, even though he had pleaded for his stay in the DC's office. The question now is how safe Kashmiri Pandits are in the valley. Targeted killings in Kashmir have started again in October 2021. The victims were mostly migrant workers who came in search of jobs and Kashmiri Pandits. In the first week of April alone, 4 workers from outside the region were shot and injured by TRF terrorists in the southern district of Kashmir. On March 19th, terrorists shot and injured a non-Kashmiri carpenter, Mohammad Akram, who hailed from Bijnor in Uttar Pradesh in Pulwama district. On April 3rd, truck driver Surinder Singh and Dheeraj Datta of Punjab were injured after being fired at by terrorists in Naupora. On April 4th, terrorists carried out 3 attacks in Srinagar and Pulwama, killing a CRPF man and injuring 4 people, including 2 workers from Bihar and a Kashmiri Pandit. On April 5th, terrorists attacked 2 CRPF men at a busy Maisuma Chowk in the heart of Srinagar city. While Head Constable Vishal Kumar succumbed to the injuries, the other CRPF member survived the attack. On the same day, terrorists shot and injured 2 non-local labourers, Patleshwar Kumar and Jako Chaudhary, both from Bihar in Pulwama district. On April 7th, A truck driver from another state was shot and injured by suspected militants in Yadar area of Pulwama. In March this year, 8 targeted killings were reported in the valley. Among the slain, 4 were from the central Kashmir's Budgam district alone, namely Samir Ahmad Malla, an army man abducted from his home and killed later on, Tajamul Mohiuddin Radar, a civilian who was shot dead outside his home in Godpora area of Budgam, and an SPO, Ashfaq Ahmad Dar, and his younger brother, Muhammad Umar Dar, in Chadbag village. In South Kashmir Shopian, an off-duty CRPF man was shot dead by suspected militants. There have also been several attacks on Panchayat members, police personnel and soldiers in the recent past. But the attack started last year itself. Beginning October 2nd, 2021, terrorists killed 7 civilians including 3 Hindus and a Sikh woman. On October 7, the principal of a school, Supinder Kaur, and Deepak Chand, a teacher from Jammu, were shot dead on the school premises in Srinagar. Locally well-known medical shop owner Makhanlal Bindru, a Kashmiri Pandit, was shot dead by terrorists in his shop in Srinagar on October 5. He had stayed behind in the valley even as thousands of people from his community had left when militancy erupted in 1990s. There were 2 more killings that same evening. Virender Paswan of Bhagalpur, Bihar, who sold Golgappas in Old Srinagar, and Mohammad Shafi Lone of Bandipora, president of the local taxi drivers association. According to the data shared by the police, militants have shot dead 28 civilians, including 5 local Hindus or Sikhs and 2 non-local Hindu laborers this year alone. The attacks on Kashmiri Pandits have put a big question mark on the Modi government's claim that Kashmiri Pandits are feeling more secure and safe under the present regime. Why are Kashmiri Pandits' demands are not being considered? Why they are not being provided enough security? While their plight is being used for political gains across the country, will the government ever listen to what the community living under the shadow of terror has to say? While the politicians, successive governments have been talking about rehabilitating the Kashmiri Pandits in the valley, their Ghar Wapsi, recent spree of targeted killings has spread fear among the community. And once again, the community's dream to return to their motherland seems shattered while the government looks on. Do let us know what you think about this in the comment box below. For more news and updates, you can log on to www.hwnews.in. Also, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video and comment below it. And if you want to contribute to our endeavor of free and fair journalism, then please go to our website www.hwnews.in/support. We have listed several subscription plans for our readers and our viewers. Whatever plan that suits your budget, please pick that one and pay us, because when you pay, you help independent media like us not only survive but thrive. Thank you so much.